Drew McIntyre, he came in there, he said, you thought I quit, but that was a lie. It was obviously, I wanted to mess CM Punk up. And then he brought up the bracelet he stole from CM Punk last week. And we got a super close look to it. And we saw that Larry was written on there and AJ. For those of you who might not know, Larry is a weird looking dog. That's what Drew McIntyre said too. I'm just repeating Drew McIntyre's words. After he said that, the crowd chanted for Larry, which was amazing. And then AJ is obviously AJ Lee, CM Punk's wife, former WWE wrestler. Maybe she'll be back because of this angle. I don't know. But yeah, he just cooked CM Punk the whole time. And then, he got up out of there and, messed with Adam Pearce for the rest of the night. But Brian, did you get to catch this segment?
Of course, my brother. I was making that chicken in the kitchen, man. What's going on?
Yeah, what do you think about Drew McIntyre, man? Is he still killing it?
Yeah, I think he's still doing all right, man. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
There's only so much you can do, bro, when your prime rival is at the moment injured, and I think he's been doing a pretty good job. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is going to be a good match from what we're looking at. We got to see where this goes, but man, I'm honestly very excited.
It's going to be a good match
to see these two get in the ring. Very.
What's going to be a good match?
Huh?
What's going to be a good match?
Definitely not The Undertaker because he's retired, buddy. Keep it moving.
Oh, come on, bro. I hope you're not talking about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre because that match is not happening.
If you're... okay. The match is not happening. Maybe we could argue about that.
Check it out. CM Punk last week, right? He said, I'm going to the doctor on Monday, so I won't be on Raw, but I'm hoping to get some good news to deliver to you guys on SmackDown. When he showed up at SmackDown, what happened? They wrote him off TV, so it's not looking good for that man, CM Punk.
Not even SummerSlam? Do you think he'll be back by then and doing it up?
I don't think so. I think if he was going to be back, they wouldn't have written him off TV. I think he got some bad news when he went to the doctor on that Monday. News. And it's not looking good. Big Om, did you hear anything about CM Punk's injuries or what do you think's going on? Why didn't we get this return announcement on Friday?
Well, Kenny Bomb right now sounds like, me about 5-6 hours ago. Sounds like he's getting worked. Kenny Bomb, my good friend. Professional wrestling is built around manipulating the audience and making you rethink yourself and think about things more than once.
Y'all keep this take in mind now. Keep this take in mind. I just want y'all to listen to him.
Go ahead, Rico.
No, go ahead. Tell the people what you got to say right now because I think you are 100% wrong. But go ahead and finish telling them.
Wow. Okay, Kenny.
CM Punk said that on purpose to get people talking. And all of us, including myself, talked about it. And the reason why we talked about it and the reason why we put it out there is because it's CM Punk. Like, everything this man does is always going to be scrutinized, is always going to be discussed ad nauseum. And WWE and CM Punk are well aware of that, so they're leaning into it. And they have been leaning into it, this entire storyline. So the way I see it is they knew people were going to talk about it. So it's like, yeah, why not tell everyone oh yeah, he's going to announce that he's cleared in Chicago. Let's get a massive rating. Let's get a bigger rating than we did last week, whatever. And then,
sell out, yeah.
So you think people are going to tune in just to hear him say I'm clear?
100%. 100%.
How would that happen?
You cannot, Kenny Bomb, 1 second, seriously. Kenny Bomb, you cannot tell me that CM Punk is not a draw. You cannot sit there and tell me he's not a draw.
I mean,
wasn't in AEW.
What do you mean? He was absolutely a draw, man.
He was not a draw in AEW.
Every single one of my friends watched it because of CM Punk.
Collision went down to 200,000 viewers after he left, bro. What are you talking about?
When he was on Dynamite, were they hitting 1 million?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. No, he wasn't.
Yes.
No, they weren't. They hit 1 million one time. No. CM Punk did not boost him over 1 million for weeks.
Pull it up.
AEW has never been on a 1 million streak where they were getting 5 weeks in a row.
Why are you burying AEW right now, man? Come on, don't bury AEW.
All of 2022, AEW Dynamite, when they were in their own time slot, outside of maybe 3 or 4 times, they always hit 1 million. Cap, Kenny.
So yeah, Kenny just
pulling
thinks
up the
AEW.
ratings right now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But let's pull them up.
Go ahead.
Look it up.
Look, man, CM Punk is an absolute draw. Come on, we're gonna see it right now.
Oh, Brian's got it for us?
No, I don't.
Aren't you pulling him up, Kenny?
Yeah, pull him up.
Let's see. The first website didn't give it to me.
On his phone.
I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it.
Gonna be here for a while, it seems.
Y'all keep cooking.
No,
I can send you the link.
we waiting on you, buddy. You got the facts, right? Go ahead, show us the facts, buddy.
All right, AEW Dynamite. Bro, this is a lot of 0.9s or 0.7. When did CM Punk debut? Bro.
Bro, you have a wrestling podcast.
The facts. Bro, the facts. They did not hit 1 million. They hit 1 million a few weeks, and they did not go on a... Exactly like I said. The ratings prove it. WrestlingAttitude.com.
Look up collision ratings.
WrestlingAttitude.com.
Look up collision
look at
ratings
AEW
before.
ratings from 2022.
Okay.
They did not consistently hit 1 million.
Look at collision
Never
ratings.
for even 3 weeks in a row. It was under.
Collision.
It was under 1 million. Bro, Collision never hit 1 million.
Okay, and
yeah.
let's look at the difference before and after CM Punk left.
CM
Let's
Punk
do
is
that.
a draw. Collision never hit 1 million.
Let's do that though. Let's go look at CM Punk's numbers.
Down was the
Before
booking
and
and the no
Draw
storyline
is a draw.
stuff.
CM Punk is not a draw. WWE is the draw.
Brian, hey, Kenny, I got a question for you. While CM Punk
No, Big Om, you were wrong.
No.
You were wrong. You were wrong. I told you I was going to admit I was wrong, so I need you to tell me you were wrong right now because there was no point where they hit 1 million 4 times in a row. Not even 3.
Hey, bro. How many times under CM Punk in their normal time slot did AEW hit 500,000 viewers for Dynamite? How many times?
Oh, wait. So now just because CM Punk, now they've been cooking all this time, but now CM Punk's been gone for like a year. Now they hit 500,000 in the CM because CM Punk's gone. Come on, bro. That is a weak. That is a weak narrative. That is a weak narrative.
Come on, bro.
The reason AEW's ratings tanked is because of Samoa Joe.
What?
Go ahead and finish
Samoa Joe's been gone as champion.
Little Valentine. After the CM Punk, Drew McIntyre stuff, what else caught you guys' mind?
Well, off the top of my head, I remember Bron Breakker getting in there and breaking some backs. Well, at least he tried to break Ludwig Kaiser's back. He was going for it. And then Sheamus came out there, interrupted the match. They've been pretty angry at each other, Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, just going back and forth almost for the past 3 weeks, I think. So I feel like that's a Money in the Bank match or some sort of like big rivalry blow-up feud that we're going to see at the main event of a Raw or, again, yeah, SummerSlam could be it. But yeah, so Ludwig Kaiser lost or won by disqualification and Bron Breakker got super angry. And yeah, it's the classic stuff. Basically, though, Bron is, correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, trying to get to the Money in the Bank. What is he trying to do? I forgot.
Intercontinental title.
Intercontinental title with Sammy. There you go. So Ludwig versus Sheamus. That's one way. Bron for the Intercontinental Championship versus Sammy. That's the second thing that's happening right now.
Wait. Brian, what are we doing? Get it out of here.
Come on. That's Larry, dude. Come on.
I must hop off camera right now because this man is trying to... All right. Let's continue.
So, Kenny, what do you think about Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker, man? Is Breakker taking that title by hook or crook?
Is Bron Breakker taking the title from Sami Zayn? I don't think he should.
Right. Why not?
I don't think he should. We've been building Sami Zayn up from since WrestleMania. For one, I thought Chad Gable should have been the guy that took it off of him.
Absolutely.
So I think, unfortunately, looking at the build and the trajectory of Bron Breakker over these last few weeks, it looks like he is going to take it off of him, but I just don't think he should.
I mean, you look at him, he struggled against Ricochet, and then he had another opponent. He struggled against him a lot too. I think it was Ilya Dragunov. And this week, he wasn't really beating Ludwig Kaiser that much either, like a squash match, right? Something you would expect from like a super main eventer, Goldberg type guy. So I could see Sami Zayn just pulling off a weird trick and getting away with the title, at least in the first time. But Omer, what's your thoughts on this whole feud and the future of Bron Breakker right now in the close, time schedule, let's say?
The future of Bron Breakker is very bright. It's been reported that WWE have big plans for him, especially in the Netflix era. And I think the first step of that plan is going to be to give him a run with the Intercontinental Championship. And, there's no secret that this would be a bit of almost an audition for him in a big time program. Obviously, like, he's still pretty green. He can go. We've seen that in the ring, though. Like, he can go 1,000,000 miles an hour. I don't think I've ever seen anyone run the ropes as fast as that dude can. But the big thing here is, not only is Bron Breakker going to connect with the fans as Intercontinental Champion, how is this going to evolve, right? Because we know what this is all likely building towards. Bron Breakker winning the Royal Rumble in 2025. I think that is, one of the 2 or 3 big possibilities that could happen if we're being honest.
Right. Yeah.
And part of being in that spot, you kind of have to almost kind of earn your way in there a little bit by getting over with the fans and proving that you can handle yourself in a big time, or at least in a program as a single star. Bron Breakker has had the benefit of being the main singles act in NXT, of being built as a brick house on Monday Night Raw. And if he plays his cards right, which I think he will, and he has all the capability and the power in the world to do, I think that he will be the consensus number 1 choice to win the Rumble come January. And I think, again, this is the next step in that evolution.
You know what? I think that is a terrible idea because we think about Roman Reigns' trajectory. I think right now Bron Breakker is kind of at risk of getting that Roman Reigns stank on him because you can see he's the guy they're kind of focused in on, and they're giving him that spotlight. Now we saw when Roman Reigns was first getting that spotlight, keep Roman strong, protect Roman. He didn't win that Royal Rumble. So if we get Bron Breakker in here like his first year and have him win main event WrestleMania, that's bad. I don't think it's time. I think that's going to do him more harm than anything.
There's a difference.
I'll take it from you. And go ahead, Brian.
There's a difference. Roman Reigns was a face that everybody was not a fan of. Bron Breakker is a heel. And I think man, Bron Breakker has a lot of potential. I said it earlier, I'm like, this guy still got to clean some stuff up. But in terms of what he's doing right now, I'm a big fan. I need him to go on ahead, win that Intercontinental title just to get back on track. To Kiro's question, the IC title got to go on Bron Breakker. This is how you build stars. These are matches that you have to have them win if this is how you want to create a star. Too many times we've seen this where a wrestler gets built and then they get dropped right when they get to that finish line. And right now, Bron Breakker, you got to strike. Wow, it's still hot. And I think this is right now the opportunity for him to win that match and continue pushing through.
Brian, I got one last question. Oh, okay, go ahead, Kenny.
I just got one question for him. I'm sorry, but has he ran far enough to even get to that finish line yet? Just to have him overcome the first time? I mean, he's not Brock Lesnar. Let's just be honest.
Bro.
Doesn't need to be.
I mean, I agree with that as well. I mean, for me though, I think there is different ways to build stars, and I feel like it hasn't been super effective. Like when they come up straight to the main roster, I think this is a perfect opportunity, bro. You give him the trial with the title. If it don't work out, you drop it. But I think right now, man, you gotta, if you went this far to build this guy, make him look super strong, to then lose to Sami Zayn, then you're kind of hurting his character in the process, in my opinion.
Sami Zayn will get more heat like Roman Reigns did back in the day than Bron Breakker at this case, because he's just like John Cena, beating everybody up with basically nothing. He shows up, beats everybody up. But Brian, one difference you said was Bron Breakker is a heel. He also, I believe, especially if you're compare him to early Roman Reigns, he can speak a lot better on the microphone. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah,
100%. I like I said, I think this guy has star potential all over him. There's a couple things he's still got to clean up, but I think he's gonna be fine.
Okay, well, that's enough of Bron Breakker, man. He's going to be a star for sure. Maybe the way he's going to become a star, Kenny, you might disagree with it. But, man, let's get back to Ludwig Kaiser, because not only did he get attacked by Sheamus, and now he's in a feud with him for the future, apparently he's got a bit of an injury. Does anybody have the news pulled up on that one? Ludwig Kaiser, a prominent star, just like Bron Breakker, actually on the rise. Like, they definitely see a hell of a lot in this guy. I do too. Great promo, great in the ring. Kenny said, you watched Undertaker's podcast, and even Undertaker said he's a great punchable face, great at what he does. So yeah, what is this situation with injury? And we should know that first.
Yeah, it was reported by WrestleVotes. They said they heard that he got some kind of an injury while he was wrestling Bron Breakker. So I don't know what it is, but you are right. This guy does have a lot of potential. Even before the match started, I said they shouldn't put these two together because I think you're going to bury Ludwig by giving him the loss here. And neither of these guys need to lose in this match. I love the fact that they protected him and they didn't pin him. That means they see whatever everybody else is seeing in him as well. So, I mean, it's looking good for him. I mean, he lost via DQ by Sheamus or whatever. So I think that was a good way to go out. I just really hate to hear about the injury because he's one of the best promos on the roster right now. And, he's like one of the guys you look at and he's like a supporting player. So you don't expect that from him. But every time he speaks, I believe him. He looks like he's kind of a big guy, still kind of slender though. So he doesn't really have his full man body yet. But I think once he puts everything together, the guy has all the potential in the world. And I see a WWE championship run in his future down the line. I don't know when, but I see it coming.
It could have definitely happen. Slender body thing. My response to that was Randy Orton 2009 and 10, where he was really slender doing that creepy, snake gimmick. Yeah. So I 100% agree with you. I think the sky's the limit for Ludwig Kaiser. He gets what the business is all about. And, I guess hanging out with Gunther will do that to you. As a matter of fact, like you said, is the best promo on the freaking roster. So way better than Gunther, although Gunther is getting there as well. But yeah. So, Brian, do you have any different take on Ludwig Kaiser, or do you agree with that pretty much?
I don't think he's going to be WWE champion. None of that, dog. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Put his trajectory over Braun's. Personally,
not at all, bro. Not the way he's been presented to come in his career, man. He's been a supporting player, like you said. He's been supporting cast to Gunther. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding that you have to do with him. Yeah, I think he can be a great star. I think he can be a great singles guy. And it's unfortunate that this injury is happening now because they finally kind of pulled the trigger on him and giving him that singles run that we were all kind of waiting for. I just don't think he's that guy right now, man. I'll just be honest. I just think he was behind Gunther for 2-3 years, might be even longer than that. And it's just, that's the image that I have of him right now. I need something else. I need maybe more time without him, being the supporting cast in the back.
Yeah, so I want to
let him cook.
Ask the detail. Yeah, I'm like Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. It's been like 3 weeks, very, very early in the process. But do you not see it right now, Brian, then you would say? It's like, what? This guy's not doing it for you? Like, because he's more serious.
I'll be honest, bro. Look, like, his promos are good, but he's never done it for me. I'll be honest. Like, I've just never been like a fan. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Y'all seem to like him. And I mean, we all have different takes on wrestling. It's very subjective, but Ludwig just, he don't really do it for me, man.
I think of this crop of NXT talent they pulled up, the Carmelo Hayes, even Bron Breakker. I think, you know what, for what I see in future long-term potential when it comes to the full package, I think it's Ludwig. And I didn't get introduced to him until he got on the main roster, just like these other guys. But
you think he has that look, though? To me. Because Bron Breakker, like, when I see Bron Breakker, he stands out to me.
WWE is feeding you Bron Breakker.
I wouldn't say that. I've been a Bron Breakker fan for a while. I've been rooting
They've
for
been
him.
feeding you Bron Breakker.
Even then, they
disagree.
Position him pretty high.
You see the stars and the guys, they're not feeding you. But, I mean, you can clearly see they're feeding you Bron Breakkers.
Yeah, they're not feeding you LA Knight, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I still think he's a star.
Stars shine on their own. They don't need the machine behind them.
Okay, enough about packages. Yeah, real takes.
Whoa. What do you think about Ludwig?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of what was said here. Ludwig Kaiser is currently not on the trajectory, for a WWE championship reign. He has all the potential in the world to get there. I will say that. And I think the promo ability, like all that stuff is there. One of the issues, and I think it is, like, I agree, a distinction between the way that he's been presented and the way that right now Bron Breakker is being presented. Bron Breakker is being presented as, for lack of a better term, the next big thing. No, Kenny Baum, that is not me saying that he is Brock Lesnar. But what I am saying is that right now, if you were looking at a guy who just is like the blue chip prospect from NXT, like to be the next big breakout star, it is Bron Breakker. And I think he has worked his tail off to get to that point, and he deserves that respect. With Ludwig Kaiser, I also think he's someone who has worked himself into a spot in WWE where I think this is a guy who's going to have a job in WWE for life. Like, I genuinely think that because, hopefully. But I genuinely think that because he's someone who is able, I think, to do the WWE style of match and make it different than what everyone else is doing because he's like fitting into this gimmick of a wrestler, and these promos he's cutting are like so weirdly perfect for WWE. Like they are, and I think like he shocked a lot of people with that ability when he got up to the main roster because they weren't really Imperium were not really doing that many promos when they were in NXT. So shout out to Ludwig Kaiser. Hopefully the injury isn't as bad as some people are speculating right now. Remember, it's a lot of speculation, but until we hear word from official sources, let's not get too much into that. But shout out to him. Hopefully he gets better soon.
100% agreed, man. Wow, Brian, I'm shocked about your opinion on Ludwig Kaiser, but yeah, long term we'll see what happens to him. And Omer, I completely agree. When they first came in, like Gunter was it, and doing so hard, but then Ludwig in the past couple of months, man, it's been shooting up there, and hopefully this injury is, like you guys said, nothing serious. We don't have an exact word on it anyways. It should come out in the next few days if it's something serious, but if he's out for like 5-6 months, that's gonna be horrible for him because this is it right now. Like he's getting hot. He's got to keep this going as much as he can, and if he's able to do that, man, then I see him having a pretty good career for sure. And last thing I want to say about him is that, like, if he did the same thing in AEW, I would still like him and he would still be over. I don't even know if it's like related to the WWE or anything like that. He's great in the ring. He's great. He's just a star. Exactly. Yeah. But
what about Giovanni Da Vinci? My boy is back with the model gimmick.
We don't talk about him.
They cooked him, bro. They cooked him.
We don't talk about him. But we can talk about the next subject, which is Chadalicious William Gable. He came out there. He's supposed to be shot in the head, potentially dead. He said, I'm unkillable. God damn it. You can't kill me. And then he went out there and had a match. Not only did he have a match with a head injury, he said, it's not a bullet injury, I guess. He said, I was bludgeoned. So blunt weapon, maybe a hammer, something like that. He got hit with that. And he was okay with the smallest bit of scar on his face. Like, okay, bro, the blood was insane. But we got that little scar. What's going on there? A lot of things to talk about the Wyatt 6 angle, but let's continue on with what happened in this match. Basically, there was two other big guys, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. And Chad Gable somehow survived and won the match to go ahead and go to Money in the Bank. It's good because we get to see him now in real life, at least me for the first time. But after the match, we had the Wyatt 6, more specifically, the Sister Abigail or...
Hold on, wait, before we get to them, kiddo, Mr. Valentine, I got some stuff to say about Mr. Chad Gable because WWE messed this up. They messed it up.
Okay.
Last week, he was clearly shot in the head.
Yes,
there's really no other way to explain it. He did come out and say I was bludgeoned, but bro, no, you were not. If you were bludgeoned, you would have had blood all over your face. But this was a perfect point on his head with the blood.
Can I say this?
Down.
If he was bludgeoned, his scar should have been bigger anyways.
Exactly.
Yeah. Continue.
They just hit you with something just boop on the side of the head, and that's a wrap. And then we had another guy who was clearly shot sitting next to the wall with the blood spattering on the wall behind him. Like, WWE messed this up. I don't know if they
Kelly for that.
I don't know if they had a way that they knew how to get out of this, but they did not get out of it in a good way. They just came out like, oh, well, you know what? Chad Gable, he's actually fine, and he is going to be wrestling on Monday. I did like how they presented him like a star, though, when he first arrived to the arena, and he was like hiding his head, like they were kind of making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
So,
walking in.
I don't know. You know what? Like Vince McMahon says, wrestling fans don't remember anything. That's why I'm going to point this out, because what happened? But go ahead. After the match, oh, yeah, Bronson Reed got pinned.
Bronson Reed got pinned. Rest in peace to that young man.
R.I.P. to that young man.
Yeah. So we had the smoke effect. I love the smoke effects. I thought they should have used that for The Undertaker. And if he was still wrestling, they definitely would have used them because like it just looked great. It looked amazing. But yeah, they gave Michael Cole a VHS and got up out of there. And we'll talk about what we saw in the VHS. It was definitely one of the biggest nights. But I like what you talked about, Kenny. So, Omer, I want to start with you. Like, what do you think about this Wyatt 6 angle? More specifically, like how the WWE is handling this. Do you think they're not giving it the importance that it deserves? Or do you think this is right now like good, apropos?
I just want to quickly go back to the Chad Gable thing because like we got to talk about this a little bit more, guys. okay, WWE had the opportunity tonight to do something historic that would not only go down in the annals of wrestling history, but make Chad Gable into an all-time level star. Chad Gable could have become the first ever wrestler to come back and win a match after being shot in the head.
Dude.
I know that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy. But guys, remember this. It's pro wrestling. Mae Young gave birth to a hand, all right? It'd be like that. Greatest era in WWE history, by the way.
Era in wrestling history.
But in all seriousness, right? Like, as campy and as weird as it sounds, right? Like, you get it, it's a flesh wound, all that. You could write it off in a few different ways. But for me, and maybe it's just me and the expectations I built up to myself, the thought of Chad Gable coming out for the next like 5, 6, 7 years and kind of doing a little bit of spin of the old Kurt Angle, I want a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. I want a match after being shot in the freaking head. That would have been epic. I think it would have elevated Chad Gable even more to the fact that he won tonight. Being like, yeah, it's a flesh wound, but I got shot in the head and I came back. I'm ready, willing, and Gable. But they fumbled it. And the bludgeoning, I agree, didn't even bludgeon him in the right way. It was, man, they did not sell this in the right way. It was bad.
All right. Well, Brian, what do you think, man?
I loved it. WWE is awesome.
No, not at all, buddy. You sound like AEW Mark. Nah, I think he could have sewed the wound a little bit more. Because he came out there, he was wrestling the match like nothing was wrong. So it was definitely a little odd. You kind of want to see that be played out a little bit more. There was a lot more opportunities that they could have taken here in this case. So, and I think it at least to me, right? I think the problem with this is that I feel like the element of the danger of the Wyatt Six is kind of brought down just a little bit when you see a guy come back a week after being potentially shot, killed on TV, whatever it is in kayfabe. It just makes him look weak. Because you're telling me this guy's fine. He comes back, wins a match, like nothing happened. Oh, yeah, I'm unkillable, this, that. That's just the way I look at it. And I feel like that's an element of danger that the Wyatt family or the Wyatt Six, they needed to really make that stronger than what it seems like now. Because it almost now seems like they had a great debut, but what was the point of it? Because the main guy that you attacked won a match tonight, like, and is acting like nothing is wrong. So that's just what it is for
Brian, that is so damning, actually, when you think about it. The biggest guy that they attacked won a match. Braun Strowman, who they also attacked, was out here running people down in the main event.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
That is damning, actually. Ooh.
So that was honestly the response I was fishing for. It just seems like it's happening on its own little universe, own little corner at Raw, and nobody else is really getting affected. They made an impact with that first debut, but that's been it, man. They immediately, I think, made this thing colder. It's still interesting. Don't get me wrong. It's still interesting.
Carol, before you get away from that point, I think the problem is it's not happening in its own little universe. Because if we look at how it's presented, like, I think they need to isolate this where the announcers aren't talking about it or whatever, or they can be like, what's going on? But you got Michael Cole sitting at the table. Well, guys, last week, something crazy happened on Monday Night Raw. We're going to show you. Like, why are you throwing back to that if it's like a crazy murder scene? Like, it should be something like the NWO was, completely separate. Like, what is going on here? We don't even want to touch on that or talk about it. Let's try to hide it in the corner, like pretend like nothing's happening, but keep the security around to keep it in your mind. You shouldn't be throwing back showing replays.
Go ahead.
I agree, Kenny. And it harkens back to like one of the bigger problems that, like, you know, WWE and Vince McMahon specifically got wrong with the Fiend character, right? Every single time that the Fiend was doing something great, it felt like whatever like they were building up was kind of undermined by WWE's booking. Whether it was like, you know, the Fiend winning the World Championship and then getting jobbed out to Goldberg. Like, I'm not saying this is anywhere near as bad as that, but like,
not yet.
Like, if these guys, the Wyatt Six, are this big of a threat, and like we love them. Like I want to say that we all love them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah,
if
yeah.
they
We'll talk
are
about
this
it.
big of a threat, and if these guys are supposed to be these like killers, then what they do and the people they attack should be affected by it in a profound way for at least more than a week. I think that is not too much to ask for. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I think it's a huge oversight for WWE. They can fix it. I hope they do. But my God, come on. Like after that, Chad Gable wins a match and you don't even say that he got shot. Now you can just say it's wrestling. You can say whatever you want. Like crazy.
Yeah, he should have been passing out or something like, oh, he's suffering from the effects of what happened, but just nothing. Just like I got a Band-Aid on, but I'm good. Like, what are we doing?
Kenny, imagine if bro passes out on like an unconscious like Bronson Reed and gets the pin like
gets the
that.
pin.
Yeah, like that would have been better than what we saw,
Would've been
bro. I'll
great.
be honest.
It
Have
feels
the
like
Creed brothers come drag him out of the ring and take him to the back. I mean, since you're building up to that,
it feels like any other story. It feels like any other story. Now that's the big problem, and I think you guys put it beautifully, each and every single one of you. Like, I don't think there's more to say. But Creed brothers, I want to stay on them for a little while. At least like, at least that's a little interesting. Like, obviously, it is gonna be a fun storyline, but as you were just saying, Kenny, it could have been 10 times better. And from week 2, like we're already seeing these mistakes. What's gonna happen in month 2? Like I'm afraid to kind of see it or even think about it.
Saw it with Bray Wyatt. Unfortunately, we saw it with Bray Wyatt.
Right.
They got in their own way.
I don't know if they'll do it again, but speaking of Bray Wyatt, it was a kind of a crazy segment because we saw Bo Dallas and that VHS was revealed. And
hold on, we got to throw into a whole video for this one, kiddo.
Okay, throw it, Kenny.
I'm gonna throw
Take it over.
Y'all ready?
Take it over.
All right, let's go ahead and get it, fellas. Tonight, we saw Chad Gable come back from getting a gunshot to the head, have a match, successfully win that match, and at the end, we saw Nikki Cross come out in a fog of smoke, and she went to Michael Cole's desk, and she gave him a box. Now, kiddo, something was in this box, and we threw back to that box later, and we saw something very interesting. I would say one of the most amazing things we saw on WWE Raw in a very long time. Can you tell us what happened from there?
I don't know what was in the box. I'm too young. I don't. Anyways, enough of the jokes. It was a VHS tape. They said, "Oh, we checked the footage," or like, "Here, we'll play it for you now." And it was very interesting. We saw Bo Dallas sitting there and talking about, for the lack of a better terminology, real shit
stuff, man.
I gotta say it, man. I gotta say it. Yeah. They went out the gate asking, "How do you feel about Bray Wyatt's death?" And Kenny, you were like, "Whoa,"
I did not. It was completely unexpected to me. I thought we were going to stay in wrestling stuff. Like, I didn't even know we was going to see Bo Dallas with his mask off, but they came straight out the gate. How do you feel about your brother's death? I was like, well,
jeez, yeah.
Immediately grabbed me. I was like, okay, what are we doing here? Where are we going? And I think the subject matter and what they delivered in this promo was perfect. Beautiful, man. This was cinema. Beautiful art.
I agree, man. Brian,
we should have had a script, man, because I would love to read the whole thing of what they said. They pretty much, just to run it down, he said, how do you feel about your brother's death? Do you feel like people are going to say you're exploiting him? And he said, well, my whole life, I wanted to be like him. And we see him doing exactly that now. One of our big concerns going into this was, can Bo Dallas pull this Fiend thing off? Can he be as threatening or as menacing as Bray Wyatt? I really didn't love the stuff they were putting on his voice during the promo, but him talking back and forth with Uncle Howdy, I think it was just beautiful. And he was pretty much telling us where he is with everything right now and why he's taking up this character. I think this was the perfect introduction to Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy. Now, I don't know if we necessarily know his motivations right now, but I'm definitely interested to find out more. Even though they kind of blew all the stuff around this already, I think they can still rehab it and recover it, because the Nikki Cross stuff, even though she was just crawling and went to the table, I thought that was really good. And this was like really the cherry on top. I think this was even better than what they did last week, because it kind of built the story around what this character is going to be.
I wanted to throw it over to Brian after that. Like, I remember Brian also remarked about like them saying, I'm doing this just because of, I'm just leeching off of my brother's success and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that line? Like, why did they put it in there, and what they try to accomplish with that one?
Honestly, bro, I was really happy with this whole segment, simply because I felt like they threw it back into reality and back into what people were saying, because that was the constant thing. There was some guy, just quick sidebar, there was some guy who made a comment on Twitter, and he said, WWE is just making money off Bray Wyatt's death, and they actually reported it to his job, by the way, which is actually kind of nuts. Yeah, bro, yeah. Kind of crazy. But I think right now this is good. I think that the fact that they went into reality for this one, and they went ahead and said, hey, this is how people feel, or this is, the way people see it. And I think it was cool that they addressed it. They addressed it in their own way. I think it was a very powerful way to address it, by him saying, I always wanted to be like my big brother. And that's just the way I look at it, man. I think, again, great segment. I love the realness of it. And one thing that I do like about this Uncle Howdy character is that, like you guys said, they're not hiding who is behind the mask, because at this point we know what it is. But Bray Wyatt, as his character, we always knew who was behind the Fiend. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool that we know who's behind Uncle Howdy officially, because I think this might be the first time ever we've seen Bo Dallas without the Uncle Howdy mask. So I think. And
just like a normal human, just like a man, he's Bo Dallas in there. Like, he's not acting crazy or nothing. So
exactly,
right,
man.
yeah.
Great presentation.
So I personally, I'm a fan of this, and I think this is something that we got to keep an eye out. And I think that all of us in here, while we were watching live, we were like, oh yeah, this is what we care about. This is something that definitely had us glued.
Yeah, we're usually arguing, but we were all quiet, like glued to it. So Big Home, what do you think?
This is the best thing that WWE's had on Monday Night Raw in a very long time, as long as I can remember. Like, I mean, maybe like the bigger thing would probably be like Cody's beat down at the hands of The Rock earlier in Chicago before Mania. But outside of, like, this is one of my favorite things WWE's done all year. I believe that, confronting the criticisms, if you can even call it that, like, head on is like a very smart thing for them to do, because it's kind of like, all right, what are you going to say now? Like, it's that whole it's the last few minutes of 8 Mile, when it's like it's like when Eminem or what's his name, B Rabbit, excuse me, just like says everything and puts it all out there, like, what you got to say about me? Like, and on top of that, and on a more serious note, I think this did more for Bo Dallas, the wrestler Bo Dallas, the character Uncle Howdy, whatever you want to call him. These 4 minutes or however long this was did way more for him than I think anything that he did in his entire career. And part of the best parts about wrestling are real. Like, even when they're mixed in with this, like, spooky whatever character, like, when the realism comes out, it resonates more because it comes across as authentic. That's what people want. That's what the viewers want. We crave authenticity in our entertainment, in our personalities, and all that. So for him to do this, and for WWE to allow this to happen, it truly shows that the guard is changing. Because something like this may have been allowed, like, in spurts, or in like little, like, segments here and there. It would not have been as prevalent in the Vince McMahon era, especially the last 20 years of garbage booking that Vince was doing.
Oh, come on now. We're not going to slander Vince's booking. We're not going to slander Vince McMahon's booking, because the man built this company from the ground up.
It was garbage.
People get old and they age out, but Vince McMahon is a legend. Legendary booking.
His booking was so bad. His booking was so bad that AEW is about to be profitable in 5 years because of it. That's the legacy that Vince is leaving behind.
Vince McMahon created The Undertaker, bro. Come on.
Way worse legacy he's leaving behind. Anyway, but going back to what matters. Last thing I will say about this, I said, like, there's a chance for them to kind of, like, redeem themselves here with the WWE. The way you kind of right the ship, for lack of a better term, as far as, like, the impact that the Wyatt Six have moving forward, I think, is having Bo Dallas, like, go out there and win matches.
Oh yeah,
and I think more importantly than establishing him as, like the singles drawer, like whatever, like he doesn't need to go after titles, but he needs to be a dominant force in the ring so that when he does like face people and he does go after titles, he's a threat. And it's not just, oh my God, smoke and mirrors, right? This is day one of trying to get past that and go move toward that. I think this promo was a great job.
Great job. I didn't like how Uncle Howdy looked before, but I think they fixed up the image to kind of make him look big budget where he was kind of low budget when we last saw him. But I got a question, Omar. You brought up something interesting there. You said he needs to go in and have good matches in the ring. For me, I think as long as they get the story good, I don't care about his matches. But does he wrestle as Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy?
Here's what you do, Kenny Baum. You have Bo Dallas go out there in the ring and whoop that booty, whoever it is. And then you have Uncle Howdy. You get an extra. I don't care. Get an extra dressed up as Uncle Howdy, watching every single match that Bo Dallas has from the entrance ramp. And establish that, like, Uncle Howdy isn't just an alter ego for Bo Dallas. Uncle Howdy is like this supernatural being that has, like, whatever, separated itself from Bo Dallas, whatever you want to say it. I think there's a lot of storytelling in there where Uncle Howdy's like almost like a separate like piece of Bo Dallas is breaking away. Y'all remember Dragon Ball Z? Remember when Majin Buu split up into two Boos? Give me that.
They did it in Lucha Underground. Like the champion was watching all the matches. Them. We have Ken. You like this one? Mortal Kombat, Kotal Khan or something. Just watching everything that's going on and judging. That'd be cool. That's something that I'm pretty sure I've never seen in WWE.
What I fear is the fact that, I mean, we've seen Bo Dallas a lot. Bo leave, 3-man band. What was the other gimmick? He's had a lot of gimmicks that I think kind of pushed him down to that mid-card status. Do y'all think he can recover from that? Because I think seeing just Bo Dallas wrestle in the ring as he was, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to see like a threat.
Shorty G is all I'm saying.
I think this was Kenny, this was like a complete reset. What we witnessed tonight was like a complete reset on the Bo Dallas, like character, persona, wrestler, everything. I think tonight like did a lot to like be like, all right, we're seeing something new. Let's go for the ride.
So I think it'll be fine.
All right, fellas. Well, at the end of the night, we had a WWE Tag Team Championship title change. Do y'all care? Because that's what I don't care about.
I think it furthers the storyline. I'll say that.
But they just flipped out the titles. Didn't Judgment Day have it before R-Truth?
No, but here is the angle that I'm looking at it from, and we're gonna get into it. Liv Morgan pulled the strings for that title match tonight. If you look at the video or the broadcast, at the top of the ramp, it was Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. Finn Balor and JD McDonough seem to be close. Finn Balor is always getting caught up with Liv, even though we don't want to admit it. We've seen it.
Matching that hotel key.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
I think what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to play it off because, Dominic is a big heel, which I think he's going to be a face after this. People may still hate him, but I think that he's going to flip-flop now because I think that what's going to be left is Finn Balor's going to be exposed. Liv Morgan got him that title match, and then you're going to have Damian Priest, Dominic, and Rhea Ripley in the end, and it's going to be that 3 versus 3 dynamic. And I think that's why it matters tonight. I think that's why tonight matters, and I think a lot of people are overlooking it, but tonight matters.
So you don't think it's possible they all turn on Rhea Ripley and have her doing her own thing?
Nope. Rhea Ripley is too involved in this storyline to have her do her own thing. She's literally been in every segment, part of it. When she's not even there, bro, her name is being brought up. Liv Morgan, when she's talking to herself, she's talking about Rhea, bro. There's a lot of videos of this online. So Rhea is very much relevant right now in this storyline, and there is no other way for her to come back other than this storyline.
But does the Judgment Day bring her down?
Well, hear this. If Damian Priest loses at Money in the Bank, he is no longer part of the Judgment Day. That's when Rhea Ripley comes in. Whenever she comes in, she kind of picks him up because I think he's going to lose that title. So I think right now, the 3 people that are going to be left is going to be Liv Morgan, Finn, and JD. It's not going to be anybody else in there. Them 3. It might not be called the Judgment Day no more, but I'm saying it's gonna be those three.
Brian,
Do you think there's?
stop giving spoilers, man. Come on. What's up? What's up, Kenny?
So you think they're kind of swerving us, like making us think it's Liv and Dom this whole time, but it's really Liv and Finn.
They're not.
I mean,
I don't think I know it, brother. That brother just took the hotel key in front of our faces last week.
You're right, he did.
Yeah.
And you look at Liv Morgan; she doesn't care about
She's
Dominic
sending
at
him
all.
naked pictures. So what? She just a thotty dot sending everybody naked pictures.
This is what I think too, bro, is happening. I think that Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, they're working on this kind of thing where they're kind of working on, all right, let's try to get Judgment Day to turn on Dominic so they don't think it's me type thing. And that's why Liv is acting the way she's acting.
Yeah, Liv wants the Judgment Day to herself. Liv wants the championship to herself. That's it. And if she can take Dominic, I guess that's a bonus. But yeah, with everything that's happening with Finn Balor, I feel like they're gonna swerve us, man, and have those two be the couple.
I agree.
Mysterio saved her from her deadbeat daddy. But what you got, Big Om?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's not just the belt. It's not just Judgment Day. It is Dom too.
Whoa.
And here's my thing. Just Brian, I just want to say, I'm so proud of you. After months and months of us talking about wrestling, you have finally come to your senses and digested and analyzed a story perfectly, my guy. Perfecto. Congratulations, my guy.
Is that
let me just
come on.
Perfecto. That's Italian.
I don't think you're attacking the Italians.
Yeah,
Perfecto. Anything else? No. My bad, John. I might.
I watched The Sopranos. Anyway, but in all seriousness, right?
Yeah.
The whole the whole like launch of this story was kind of Liv Morgan getting screwed, right? She got she felt like she got screwed by Rhea Ripley, and that she deserved that world championship. And ever since then, she's not forgiven Rhea Ripley. So what is her master plan? All right, get the belt off of Rhea Ripley. She injured her, and now it is.
Oh, Brian White showing him analytics. My bad, Big Om. Brian going crazy over there.
I'm hip. But now it's take the belt off of Ripley, get the belt, get the Judgment Day, and take Dom away, ripping everything that Rhea Ripley had away from her so that when she returns, she has nothing. And I do think there is a little bit of the swerve coming with Dominic Mysterio. And there's two ways you can go about this that are both could play out beautifully. Number one, you could do what Brian said and do the Finn and, Liv were always in cahoots. And, for Liv, Dom was just an ends to a mean. She just wants Dom to get back at Rhea. But then the other way you could do this, and again, this is what I want to see. Yeah. I want to see Macho Man and Liz getting back together at WrestleMania 7. Give me the big hug between Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio. It will be a legendary moment if played right.
That Money in the Bank?
Beautiful story.
WrestleMania, right? Not Money in the Bank.
Oh, at Mania?
Ain't doing it at that.
Okay.
At that C show. It's going to be at like SummerSlam.
Wow.
That could be cool, honestly. That's an angle that nobody's considering, probably. Yeah, Dominic actually being face. I didn't see what they showed. What they showed.
Brian showing Sydney Sweeney on the screen. He going crazy.
Brian, what are you doing, Brian?
But fellas, it's an interesting story. Judgment Day, our new champions. I mean, this is the main story in Raw. R-Truth and Miz kind of turned the belts into like a comedic thing, so I don't mind it. I think Judgment Day is a more serious team. They're in the biggest storyline on Raw, so I think overall it was a good move.
Titles are also
JD McDonough.
I don't like him. His head is abnormally large. Whoa.
Yeah, Archer got a huge pump tonight, man. Like, it was actually insane.
He usually does. Brian, remember we were at Mania and we walked out for a second and the crowd went crazy. We were like, who is that?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, it's R-Truth. Crazy.
I still haven't watched that match to this day.
Me either.
That's a great
All
match.
All right, but fellas, listen.
What's up, Kenny?
That's the end of Monday Night Raw. It's time to get dirty.
Whoa, like Dominic.
It's that time, my boys. AEW ratings time. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man, take the wheel.
All right, man. So listen, let's get right into it, Brian. Dodging, you know what I'm saying? I know we got a lot of AEW, WWE fans in this chat. If you ain't watching it live and you watching it now, welcome. But now, guys, we saw AEW had its lowest rated episode in history. Omer, is that correct? I just want to fact check.
Lowest rated Dynamite in history in the 8 p.m. Wednesday night time slot.
Okay, understandable.
Big on with the facts.
Kenny, you know what I'm saying, bro? Very often we have this conversation with WWE. You like to blame it on my favorite WWE wrestler, you know what I'm saying? Now, what do you have to say? Why are these AEW ratings so low? We have MJF back, who is one of the top stars, and by any means, I'm not saying that to discredit him, but a lot of people were saying, oh, this is what AEW needs right now. MJF, we got him back. Nonetheless, his work hasn't been the most amazing because of the people he's been messing with. I'm not really a fan of Roosh, but it's MJF at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So, Kenny, let me hear your thoughts, man. You know, no beef. I just want to hear you out, man.
Well, what was the rating? Do y'all have the number? What was the rating?
502,000. I'll never forget that number, my dog.
It was 502,000 and a 0.16 in the key demo.
Come on, let's go.
Is that the lowest demo as well?
It was definitely the lowest demo, yeah.
Well, you got to think about it.
You got to think about it.
That AEW has a heavily, like 73% black audience. Last Wednesday was Juneteenth. So a lot of the people were out on the grill cooking, you know, doing it up, chilling with family. The Kendrick Lamar concert was on where he cooked Drake. So a lot of people were just focused on other things on that day. It was just a weird unicorn night. AEW is fine. There's nothing going wrong. We all will see this week. The ratings will be 700,000 at the lowest. You know, we might get back up to 900,000 because everybody who missed AEW last week, they are going to rush back in to see what's going on this week and get back updated. So, you know what? I think everybody's making a big deal of it. It's fine. Okay. It was Juneteenth. The people were out.
Understand that. But you cannot say that there's nothing wrong. Because the ratings have been on a decline for a while. This just happens to be a big anomaly right now where the ratings dropped to 502. And now you're saying so Kendrick Lamar, which one of the biggest rappers in the world. And I get it. It's an excuse. Yeah. But over 200,000 viewers, bro.
Well, the apparent story, I'm just kidding, y'all, but the apparent story is they didn't have the Big Bang Theory lead-in to give them that extra boost.
That's what I heard as well.
And that was the reason for the ratings. I think that is terrible. That is a bad excuse. And if that is your excuse, it shouldn't be out there. Because that means people are watching the Big Bang Theory and falling asleep or leaving their TV on that channel and just bleeding into AEW Dynamite. So if people aren't tuning in for the show, then people aren't tuning in for the show.
I will say this though, Kenny, as a WWE fan, Law and Order has been the lead off for WWE for a while. So a lot of these TV shows do this. Not to discredit what you're saying. I'm just saying, as a fan, I don't also want to take that away from AEW because WWE does it as well.
Yeah, and I don't care who you are doing it. That's fake inflation for your numbers. Because if people just aren't turning the TV off and nobody's watching the show, I mean, that's not really you getting viewers.
Well, Kenny, NXT was watched by, apparently, according to the Wrestling Inc. Observer, by, let me see, 724,000 people last week. Were these people not in the cookout?
Bro, it was a joke. The 500 rating is terrible. 500,000 is ridiculous.
Okay.
And AEW is absolutely in trouble right now because that is a terrible, scary number. Like, I don't know what's going on or where the disconnect is. I'll tell y'all where it all started. Putting that title on Samoa Joe was not a good idea because ever since then, things have been in the toilet. That was part one. That stupid devil mask gimmick where Adam Cole revealed himself sitting down in a chair like, bro, you're not threatening. Come kick your leg and you're done. He should have turned course and put Jack Perry under that mask, but he was too hurt because CM Punk left and he didn't do it. Things need to change in AEW, and unfortunately, I don't know what the big move needs to be because Brian's still showing the analytics. I don't know what the big move needs to be because if you look at what they did a few weeks ago, they pulled like the trump card. You get Tony Khan involved, you beat him up, and you have the Young Bucks take over. Now the inmates are running the asylum. That didn't help. The ratings went down even further after that. So you got to pull something out, and I think what they need to pull out at this point is all of the money in the checkbook all of the money out of the bank. And if Shane McMahon is interested in signing into AEW, you sign Shane McMahon. Now, people think like, oh, it's a joke. It'll be hilarious if Shane McMahon goes to AEW. No, that is a groundbreaking event.
How many viewers do you think they're going to get on average? Do you think that fixes all the problems? That fixes
I don't
all the
care
problems?
about fixing the problems because it's not. The problems aren't going to be fixed in 1 week. If Shane McMahon goes to AEW, sure they might get a week pop, but you have a McMahon in AEW. That is huge. That is groundbreaking. You have never seen a McMahon go to TNA. You have never seen a McMahon go to WCW before they got shut down. You never seen him go to any other company. So Shane McMahon showing up in AEW is absolutely massive. And I don't know what he could do backstage, but he has the WWE experience on him. So he could help them. Absolutely. So people kind of dismissing him off as a joke, I think they'll end up getting like bit in the butts because I think he can definitely help them, fix things backstage because that's where the problem is. I don't think the problem is what they're putting on TV. It's whatever is going on backstage.
I think Tony Khan just has to stop booking the show. I'll be honest.
That might be the problem.
No, come on,
that is the problem.
I think he needs help.
How is that the problem?
He needs help.
That is absolutely the problem. He's a child. He can't run a company.
Come on, Kato. Now, see, I was going to agree with y'all, but now Kato going crazy.
He needs help.
What do you mean?
Different than he needs to stop booking the show. Those are two different things.
He shouldn't be the primary booker, though. I'll be honest, bro.
He needs his Vince Russo, and he needs his Ferraro.
Here's the thing, Omer. Here's the thing, Omer. He books very, very good matches. Let's not disagree. He books some good matches. I just think that the company has been missing leadership. TK does not provide that.
How do you know, bro? You're not backstage. You can't say that,
brother.
You can't say that. You don't see anything with his leadership.
What are you talking? No, genuine, Brian. I don't know what you're talking about because you're talking about leadership and you're talking about booking.
Bro, I just think he needs to give up the reins in general. I'll be honest.
He wants to be one of the boys. He wants to be one of the boys. He's trying to hug them all the time like an octopus, man. Look, he doesn't impress me. Anybody can pay $20 million, put Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega in the ring and call match booker. That doesn't impress me. I'm sorry.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Vince McMahon wanted to be one of the boys. Vince McMahon and Kofi Kingston were fighting on the airplane, so you can't say it's because he wants to be one of the boys. That's not fair.
Okay.
The day that Tony Khan books himself to win the AEW World Championship like Vince McMahon and Vince Russo did, then we'll talk. But no, in all seriousness though, let's go back to what we were talking about, the rating. The Juneteenth thing is probably the biggest factor that we can calculate outside of people just stop giving a crap about the show suddenly.
It's a big drop. It's something.
200 is crazy, yeah.
We will find out, right? I think we'll find out next week, right? Once we get the rating for Wednesday, we'll see like if they come back, then it probably was Juneteenth and expect that more in future Juneteenth for other programs. The thing that does that ironically, and I talked about this with you guys. Mm-hmm. I thought this past week's Dynamite, the one that drew like the lowest rating ever, was actually like structured way better than any AEW Dynamite show I've seen in well over a year. Because you open up with a hot match that you have built up for a while with one of your biggest stars. Him and Roosh went out there and killed it commercial free. And they had show long storylines running throughout the entire night with MJF, with Will Ospreay. Ospreay and Swerve come out and have an amazing promo building up to their main event match at Forbidden Door. And you sprinkle in like some video packages, you sprinkle in the more storytelling, the unpredictability of MJF and Will Ospreay coming nose to nose, and then Will Ospreay also getting challenges from other people like throughout the night for his international championship. Mm-hmm. So I thought structurally this was one of the best shows of AEW I've seen in a while, and it's exactly how they should be booking moving forward. The ironic thing is, a lot of people didn't feel like it was important enough to watch beforehand because the booking weeks before was bad. There's a lot of people who are going to tell you, right, that, and lie to you. I'm going to be frank. They're going to lie to you and say, like, oh, this show didn't get good ratings because this show was bad, and look how bad this show was. Bro, my brother, this show's ratings were not dictated by what happened during the show. This show's ratings were dictated by how people feel about the show the weeks leading up. It's the Dynamite from before. It's the Dynamite from before that. It's the Dynamite from 3 weeks ago. That's what dictates people's interest in watching it on that day. So, should AEW be concerned? Absolutely. When you drop 200,000 viewers, that is an alarm bell should be going off. But I also don't think they need to have this like big sudden change that like is going to like fix the company. Like, they need to just keep booking like they did this week, and I think they will be fine. There are other issues with Collision that we don't have time to get into, but
cancel Christmas.
I think they're doing fine.
Collision is the issue itself right now.
Way too much money. Way too much money. Way too much money in that.
But I will say this, and I don't know if y'all got anything else to say, but if they hit 500,000 or less this week, they are in trouble. And something has to happen. I don't know what it is, but you can't be hitting 500,000 and call yourself the number 2 wrestling show, because now you are approaching TNA territory. And I know they're probably getting like less than 100,000, but you're on the way there.
We got more viewers on the stream than TNA does, but
nice.
Yeah, man. It's just a sad situation. But I agree with you. Like, it's not something that is specific to this week. It's been problems piling up and up and up, and not them not doing anything about it for 5 years.
Blame Tony Khan, bro.
I blame Cody Rhodes for SmackDown ratings being lower.
And I blame Swerve for hitting
well,
500,000 as the number 2
But the thing is with
show.
Swerve, and this is something that I do think AEW should not turn away from, because they could easily slap that belt on Bryan Danielson. They could easily slap it on Christian Cage, somebody who is established in a championship star or whatever, but they're trying to build up new stars. Swerve, this is his first championship run, so he's not going to be able to put the company on his back.
Cody's. So I don't.
Also, you're saying Cody Rhodes has the same experience.
I don't know what you're trying. I just don't know what you're trying to say, because you're saying. You're saying
Cody Rhodes has the same experience as
I'm not. Listen, Cody
bro. Rhodes,
I'm not getting into this with you, bro.
32,
I'm not getting into this with you, bro. There is a 1.5 million difference. Hey, my brother.
That's a bad comparison.
Do what you want with that information.
Yeah, because the ratings are cooked with Cody Rhodes as the champion, and nobody's interested in the story. Why is the Wyatt 6 more interesting than what Cody Rhodes is doing right now?
All right, man.
Why is the Undertaker on his podcast
arguing with you about this.
Cody's good. He's doing okay, but he really is going to do great as a heel. Because Cody's drowning over there, man.
No. Undertaker said Cody is doing a phenomenal job as a face, but he would do a great job as a heel as well. And we all said that.
Look at what he said.
We've all said that.
He had to get in front of what he was saying at first. Like, he's doing great as a face. I mean, he's a WWE guy.
But why are we talking about Cody, though? Why are we talking about Cody? We were talking about AEW
you just
ratings.
Said it's Tony Khan's fault or whatever, right?
And so is Triple H's fault. I've said that before.
I've said that before. Ratings have been going down,
I've said that before. Omar, have I not told you before this is Triple H's fault over on WWE side?
Not Triple H. I think it's Cody Rhodes. Triple H is booking the show.
It's all subjective. You can think all you want, brother. But Tony Khan, I blame a lot of this stuff on him.
Well, listen, Triple H was booking when Roman was there, and the ratings weren't going down. But when
he also had the Bloodline storyline.
Roman's gone, Cody's running the show.
He also had the Bloodline story. The Bloodline storyline is probably
nobody cares. The
Bloodline
story is still going.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares
about what Cody Rhodes is doing right now.
Okay,
he's
bro.
Cooked. People are more talking about the
actually in the midst of the Bloodline stuff, by the way, just so you know.
So do you think Cody's hotter than the Bloodline right now, even?
I agree with Kenny on this one. Like, even LA Knight has nothing segments, but entertaining in them, and it's fun to watch.
I'm not gonna do this,
Come on, Brian.
It's a 2-on-1 tag match every single time.
I'm gonna ask you straight up, Brian. Who's more interesting right now, the Bloodline or Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes to me.
Big Cap. Who's more interesting, the Wyatt 6 or Cody Rhodes?
You know what made the Bloodline interesting this week? And it was this week. It was Jacob Fatu, because everybody has been slandering the Bloodline and Solo Sikoa for the past months. So I don't want to hear that BS. But you over there popping up from that blue seat.
Even when people were slandering them, you were like, "When is Jacob Fatu coming in? When is Jacob?"
Yeah, because I've been waiting for him. I like his work. I want to see him.
You have never seen an episode of MLW from start to finish.
Yeah, I don't have to see that, bro. All I have to see is Jacob Fatu's match.
You're not a fan, bro. You are eating what WWE feeds you.
That's all I have to see. All right, bro.
All right. Gives it to you, eat it.
And that's what you do with the AEW ratings. You want to switch up the subject to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has nothing to do with AEW right bro.
Now. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
Okay. So now he's worse than the Wyatt family, I guess, bro.
So you're saying Cody Rhodes is more interesting than the Wyatt family right now?
The Wyatt family just debuted 1 week ago, bro. Can we give them time to see what they do?
Oh, now you want to give him time. You don't want to give Jacob Fatu time.
You don't want to give Jacob Fatu time.
Give...
What are you talking about?
I didn't say he was cooking. The Wyatt family is cooking, bro. They hit week 1 and they hit week 2. You just said before this. You said Jacob Fatu, is this, he's that. He ain't cooking. He ain't even going to be. We don't know what he's going to do yet. But then you want to say Ludwig Kaiser is going to be a WWE champion.
Oh yeah,
he's been doing this thing for weeks though. Come on, he's been doing this thing for weeks. Jacob Fatu just came in, and you're like, oh, this guy.
Jacob Fatu has been wrestling for 10 plus years, bro. What are you talking about? He's been doing his thing. The only reason why he wasn't in the WWE before was because Vince McMahon wasn't rocking with all that jail stuff he was doing before he got into his career.
He's in WWE. That's cap. MVP was in jail. Vince McMahon took him in. Booker T was in jail. Vince McMahon took him in. The only reason Jacob Fatu is in WWE right now is because The Rock is at the head of the table.
Okay, and you still can't discredit the fact that Jacob Fatu worked hard to get back to where he's at now. You can't do that. You can't do that, bro.
10 years. He's been wrestling for 10 years on the Indies, and he's just getting to WWE.
Bro,
when Rock gets to the head of the table,
comfortable enough to say that on a live stream,
on a live camera. Nia Jax has been really good since she came back, but she got her spot because The Rock's at the head of the table.
Bro. This much respect has been lost for Kenneth Baum from me. I just gotta say it, bro. That was crazy.
Well, I would lose this much respect for you too, but I never had none. Kiddo, what's the next topic?
Next topic is the NXT general manager. Suddenly, you know what I mean? Rock's daughter.
Boom! Let's go, kiddo. Let's go.
What are we doing?
The Rock's daughter's the NXT general manager now that he got the head of the table. Come on,
why do y'all act like this is not the real world, bro? I got my job like networking.
Is taking over.
Exactly, this is the real world.
The Samoa dynasty is taking over now that The Rock is the head of the table.
Bro, Ava Raine, before she had a job at NXT before The Rock even had the TKO position.
But listen, she couldn't wrestle,
bro. Majority of people get shots. Randy Orton was in deep trouble. He got discharged from the military, and because of connections, he got into the WWE. That's just the way it happens, bro. It's networking. I don't know why we're flaunting upon a family member having a connection. Sometimes a family member needs that connection to get in and do what they have to do. It doesn't mean that they didn't work as
Kenny, how long was Von Wagner around in WWE? You want to talk about people who couldn't wrestle, who continue to get shots?
If Von Wagner was The Rock's cousin, Von Wagner would be the general manager of Raw.
Exactly, he would be
the general manager of Speed.
Maxine Dupree,
The Rock's cousin.
That's all I got to say.
Bro had an NXT title shot. All right.
And he couldn't cut the mustard, right? They fired him.
We lost. You know how we were at here? We over here now. That much respect lost, bro.
You know what else you got for me? Because these guys, they just don't want to listen to facts.
Yo, Omar, you see how fast he switched it? We agreed that the ratings were not good for AEW, but all of a sudden we just go all the way to WWE.
I'm just saying, like you can't place the blame, bro, because you don't know what's going on.
Okay,
Kenny on some real take cap talk,
brother.
Right now.
You've said before that TK is that this is a lot of TK's fault. You said it before on.
You know what? He's the owner of the company, so it is his fault.
Okay.
There you go.
This all could have been avoided, this whole argument.
No, I just wanted to have the conversation. I just had to ask you a question to see if you was going to keep it real, but you don't want to keep it real.
I am keeping it real, though.
Cody Rhodes is going to be the death of WWE.
Yeah, okay, bro. I mean, he's the most profitable baby face they've had in a while.
Oh, that is cap.
That is not cap.
In a while.
He wasn't more profitable than John Cena.
I just said in a while.
He's not even at the top of the charts right now when it comes to merchandise sales.
Hey, Kenny Baum. When was the last time John Cena was full time?
Cody Rhodes is not even on the merchandise charts right now, Brian.
Yes,
so what do you guys think about that?
Bro, he doesn't want to answer the question.
Because, bro, John Cena is out of the picture. Like, why? Like, what do you mean?
You keep bringing him up.
If we're going to say Cody Rhodes is the biggest babyface or whatever, if he can't stand up to John Cena,
he's even more profitable than John Cena, buddy.
He is not more profitable than John Cena. John Cena was always at the top of the charts.
Bro, John Cena was constantly getting booed at the same time, just so you know. He was a huge star.
He was getting booed at the same time, but people cared.
So and do you not see how crazy the crowds go for Cody Rhodes? You don't see that
in the arenas, but they don't show up to TV.
Signed with John Cena. How many billion-dollar deals did WWE sign with John Cena?
Oh, you like to talk about these billion-dollar deals?
Like Cody Rhodes. Let me give you $5 billion because of Cody Rhodes. That's totally what happened.
I mean, brother, Cody Rhodes been selling house shows out on his own, on his back. Cody Rhodes is the most profitable babyface. What do you mean he's done
He's
nothing?
laying on his back.
Are
If
you
anything,
crazy?
he's laying on his back right
Are
now.
you crazy? Bro, look at the
What
house
has
show
Cody Rhodes
numbers.
done?
Cody Rhodes has been headlining every single house show, and they sell out.
Oh, bro. Show us the numbers.
Go look
House
them
shows
up.
are not selling out.
Hey, x.com/WrestleTix. Go look it
Bro,
up, guys.
they just had a house show where I am, and it was empty. Cody Rhodes at the head of the card.
Go look it up, Omar.
I'll look it up.
Go
What was
look
I
it
that?
up.
almost went because Bianca Belair was there, but Cody Rhodes is what I didn't care about.
Kenny, was it in South Carolina?
It was in South Carolina, North Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I mean, it's just
Seeing nothing from North
But Cody
Charleston.
Rhodes, Cody Rhodes hasn't done anything magnificent since he's been the champion.
No,
I
don't
think
let
the
him get away
stories
with this.
around
Yeah.
the stories around Cody Rhodes are what's keeping everything afloat, like the bloodline thing, yo.
Oh man, bro. I don't know, bro.
Exactly.
You just sound like a straight hater. You've been rooting on Cody Rhodes' demise since
Bro,
before
Cody
he
Rhodes
even won the
used to be
title.
my favorite
That's
wrestler. What
why.
are you
That's why I
talking about?
can't take you serious.
Oh.
Bro, I went to
I found
WrestleMania 38 because Cody Rhodes was going to debut. What are you talking
You
about?
went for Stone Cold, buddy.
I
Stop
found
lying.
it. I found
Stone
it.
Cold,
I found
Cody
it.
Rhodes. I heard both
Guys,
were
I
happening. I
found
was
it.
like, you know what?
All
I
right,
gotta
go
buy my
ahead,
ticket.
Omar. Spit the facts.
So event in North Charleston, South Carolina, at the North Charleston Coliseum, which holds like a whole bunch of people. 2,451 tickets sold for AEW Dynamite. Bro, they were WWE were not doing a house show then, Kenny. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
What are you talking about?
There was no house show.
WWE
looking it up
just
right
had
now.
a house show where I am. What are you talking about?
All right,
I posted
You sure,
pictures
bro?
in our chat, yes, of the empty arena.
I don't know,
100%.
bro.
I
It's
can't
not-
find nothing. WrestleTix.
Okay, well,
Can't
I'm gonna
find
find it
nothing
for y'all
on
right
WrestleTix,
now.
bro.
Don't.
Yeah, you did
No, but
go
don't
there. I do
don't send me
remember those.
pictures. I need to see the date of this
No,
show.
I'm gonna show you the date.
Those AEW ticket sales were not good.
All I'm saying is, bro, I don't know. I'm looking at WrestleTix, WWE South Carolina. I can't find nothing.
North Charleston, South Carolina. WWE Road to WrestleMania. North Charleston, South Carolina. March 17th of 2024.
I found it March 17th. So instead of they put
You guys
6,000.
call me a liar on stream,
Nah,
y'all. Like I'm
hold
just
on.
making shows up.
They put I got the stats here. They put out 6,000 tickets and they sold 4,748.
That's like 4 times as many as AEW sold. That's crazy.
So
And just to-
you
and
said
just to
that-
clarify,
but I
just
mean,
to
you
clarify-
you just said the house shows were sold out though.
Bro,
Adrenaline
That's
let
not
in
sold
my
out.
soul.
me take a look here.
Hardside Cam was empty,
Most
bro.
were sold-
March.
most
This
were
is
sold
before
out.
Cody was no. This is before Cody was champion, though. This is from March, right?
That's even
before he
worse
was
because
champion.
that's when he was hotter.
Yeah, that
Nah,
was a
bro.
huge WrestleMania
We
build
want
up.
Bro,
Cody.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. I'm tired of this whole IWC conversation because every crowd that Cody Rhodes has been part of since he's become champion, whether the stories have been good or not, people have been eating it up, bro. I'm sorry. I know it's what y'all don't want to hear, but it's what y'all need to hear because
When Swerve
they have been
Strickland
eating
is
it up
out
the
in the
entire
ring,
time.
When Swerve Strickland is out in the ring, the crowd saying, "Whose house? Swerve's house."
Okay.
But are they tuning in on TV to see him?
What?
Brian, that's just what they want to do,
No.
bro.
The people go to the arena and they cheer because they
Bro,
feel
you
like
can't
that's what they're
not worth
supposed to do.
engaging. Don't engage, Brian.
But they don't care.
I-
Engage.
I'll
Don't
let you
engage,
Just like
my brother.
LA Knight, they like
Let
his
'em
chance,
win.
but they
Let 'em
don't
win.
care.
Just let them win. It's okay. Let them think they won.
Big facts. And the Attitude Era was the best era in wrestling
Oh my
history.
God, drop it.
That's
bro,
another thing I'm
please.
gonna drop
This
on
is
y'all
why
right
This
now.
is why you can't enjoy. This is why you don't enjoy wrestling, bro. You haven't let go of the
What
past.
do you mean?
You haven't let go of the past. You're still stuck on Undertaker Street. If
Bro,
bro, as a matter of
anybody-
fact, I
oh,
believe,
so I can't
believe,
have a
Undertaker
favorite
streak
wrestler
was
of all
pretty
time.
good, man.
I believe you don't even know that Undertaker streak ended because that's how far behind
What?
you are, bro. You are
The end of
so
the streak?
stuck behind. You are so stuck
damn.
behind, bro. This is why you
Bro,
don't
listen,
enjoy
if you
wrestling,
grew
bro.
up in the Attitude Era, you
keep
would
going-
understand.
You keep going back to
Kiddo
the
Valentine, do
Attitude
we have
Era.
any more topics here tonight?
We got one last topic, man, and it's kind of similar to the Attitude Era because at that time you could swear, you can do a whole lot of things. Now with Netflix to WWE, is that going to be possible? That's pretty much the only topic
Let's do
that's
it.
left. And according to Triple H, ladies and gentlemen, he says swearing, stuff like that, especially swearing though. We're not gonna have to worry about it now. We can do anything. I think that's what he said. So they're gonna be a lot more free. Whoever's cutting a promo to use more crazier words, let's say, but that doesn't mean that we're going to see these amazing promos, because it doesn't say like, oh, then we're going to change our promo style and people are going to now shoot the breeze instead of having this, 10 pages of scripted material they got to talk about as they do right now. Yeah, they'll be able to swear more, it seems like, but will it really make a difference at the end of the day? Maybe a little bit, but not that much in my humble opinion. But Kenny,
I think it'll make a difference for wrestlers like Jacob Fatu, who has to swear in his promos to get his points across, because I don't think he's going to be able to perform well if he can't swear. So we'll see how he turns out. But as far as like the other wrestlers, I think this will really help guys like Drew McIntyre if he can get 1 or 2 in here or there. It'll help for those matches where if you actually want to do blood, you can add that type of excitement to it on TV instead of waiting for pay-per-views, which, you know what? I don't think you'd want to use it as much as an AEW uses it. But if you want to have those like banger matches on Raw sometimes, it opens up the door to do things like that as well. So I'm hoping when they officially move to Netflix they kind of just flat out switch the ratings to PG-14. They don't even have to play into it all the time, but that just gives you that window for when you want to do those extra things, you can, and you don't have to worry about it. So I think it's a good thing, and it definitely will benefit WWE in the long run, because right now, well, for a long time, they have kind of been catering too much for kids. I think last week was us kind of see them kind of where we saw them come out of that, where they did the thing with the Wyatt family and they killed everybody in the background. Right. So I like the way things are going in WWE, and hopefully by the time they move to Netflix, we can get more adult oriented.
You would like to imagine though, like cool stuff happening like that, swear words as a kid. I'd be like, oh, what's this? That seems crazy. I want to watch it. Yeah. I feel like it'd be good for kids too, or like exciting for kids. But yeah, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, and I think the Netflix thing, before we get to Brian, I think that's going to be actually better for them to grow their audience as well, because kids go in, like Brian says, nobody has cable anymore. Kids go in and scroll Netflix all the time. So if you see like a cool wrestling move or whatever, like you could put Rey Mysterio on the front thumbnail, like, and as soon as you scroll past, he's doing a crazy flip. Boom, you got a kid's eyes. They can watch Raw from last night. I think that's really going to help them grow their audience. But
you finally cooked for the first time tonight, buddy. Go ahead though.
What'd you say?
I said you finally cooked for the first time tonight.
All right, well, what you think about the PG-14 stuff?
Listen, man, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Let me get Lita and Edge seen again. You know what I'm saying, bro? Let me get with it, man. You know what I'm saying?
An upgraded version.
Love to see it, the uncensored version.
Liv Morgan, let's go.
Let's get the that's what I'm saying. Let me get the upgraded version of that. Nah, all jokes aside, man, I think this is a win. You know what I'm saying? We need to have these little moments where we're like, okay, cool. That little pop. Just like we were getting right before WrestleMania, where we were getting curse words from The Rock and all this and all that. I think it makes the product cool. I just don't want it to be severely overused. I think it needs to be used in special moments, special rivalries, things like that, that you're like, okay, dope. This is what you want to see. But yeah, man, I think it's good for the product. I mean, why not? Just let's keep it, like I said, just
don't overdo it.
Keep it rare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unlike Will Ospreay doing the fight of spirit thing every match.
I have to give us like 1 or 2 every episode, but make them make sense.
What happened, Omar?
What was Will Ospreay doing?
He keep no selling that move into a hidden blade.
What does that have to do with?
It just means keep it rare. We got to keep it rare to make it feel special.
Like a
move that he no sells to the hidden blade.
He keep no selling suplexes, bro. But I'm not gonna be Kenny here.
That's a whole other conversation. We can get into it.
He does it once in a while. He does it once in a while, bro.
You want to talk about? No, I'm gonna get on you, bro. Like, you were cooking all night, and then you and Kenny swap roles, and I don't know what you doing, bro. I was standing. No, respect, Brian. I gotta lose some respect for you. But let's talk about this PG-14 thing real quick, because I agree with what Brian was saying there. Aside from that Will Ospreay cap, but the important thing is really to keep it special and like keep it meaningful. And the way you do that is if there's a feud going on, kind of like Drew versus CM Punk, man, you can't tell me that like Drew McIntyre telling CM Punk to GTFO or whatever, like, and the whole thing wouldn't like add that extra element of like grittiness and realness. And I think that's what they're going to go for. The name of the show is Monday Night Raw. Might as well be a little bit like uncensored when it comes to that. The other thing that I'm happy about is whenever The Rock does come back in 2025 and they're building towards likely Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania, we're finally going to hear what the hell The Rock has to say, because I was not feeling those promos where it's like, yeah, The Rock's going to take you to... And your monkey... Mother... Yeah, I wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feling that. But
that was a good mute.
Yeah,
that was a great new job.
I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. Shout out to me for that. But no, in all seriousness, I'm interested to see what happens here. I also really hope, I really hope that this means like over time they'll also like lessen the restrictions that they've had on like Peacock, because they still bleep that stuff out on past Raws on Peacock and things like that. So they're willing to say it live. Maybe they're willing to like let us enjoy it in the way that it was meant to be enjoyed on the Peacock. But
Netflix ain't Peacock, my boy. Netflix, you can see naked people on Netflix. Like, yo,
you could see that on Peacock too, bro. Oppenheimer's
Peacock is what I'm not watching, so I don't know. But fellas, kiddo, Valentine, you got anything else to add to this?
That is it, man. We gotta go to sleep. That's to add to this.
No CM Punk puns, bro. No CM Punk puns.
I'm sorry. It just came out. I don't know what happened. But that's it, man. We talked about a whole lot. We talked about, rightfully so, the AEW ratings going down, and it's going to continue to happen. But hey, that's just fate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this live stream right here, man. Shout out to everybody up in here.
Ultra Pro Wrestling.
Let's go.
AEW ratings up. If we're still on, y'all, make sure y'all stay tuned for those numbers. Let's get to that.
Let's get to that.
We off? What was that? 1 hour and 22 minutes?
I think